everybody, to the 2024 edition Best Specs of Pure Picks. My name is James, joined here by my man Alex. How are you doing today in 2024, my man?
I'm doing very well, James. Personally, very excited about 2024. Think it's going to be a big year. Super excited to take what I learned in 2023 betting the UFC and carrying that forward. And so I have very high expectations.
Definitely. And this time we have 4 quarters to work with. We started in Q4 last year. Let's try to go Q1 through 4 and bang this year off with some profit. First
Definitely.
off, I know that you sent me over some fire, so please feel free to just explain to me what you got cooking this week, what kind of plays you got.
Yep. So for this best bets, keeping it fairly light, I got one three-leg parlay. And I feel super confident about it. Think it's a plus money Gigalock. So uh, yeah, I think it's gonna hit.
Awesome, awesome. Feel free to share us what the legs are, because pure pictures, man. We are hungry.
Yeah, yes, sir. So the three legs are Manel Cap, money line to win outright. Joshua Van, second leg, also money line outright. And third leg is going to be Magomed Ankalaev.
Fantastic. That's a nice little 3 leg gigalock from Alex himself. Let's check what those odds are right now. Plus 127. Very fantastic. I think that's a nice little solid play. I would love to hear your analysis on each of these 3 legs. Please feel free to just walk us through it and kind of pick your brain in a way and show us what you got.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll first start with Manel Cap. So this is going to be a rematch. So in the first, fight, he lost. However, I personally believe that he won the first fight. So in the 3 rounds, he clearly lost the first round. Second one, he dominated. And going into the third round, it was actually the live odds were minus 500 for Manel Cap. Um, but obviously the third round was extremely close. It was like a back and forth affair. Um, I thought Cap uh, edged out the victory, but obviously the judges felt otherwise. Um, so what I kind of got from that first fight was that Manel Cap is clearly better on the feet. He has a rock solid chin. I don't I can almost guarantee you that he's not going to get knocked out. That's how confident I feel about that. Um, so, if I'm betting on Manel Cap, which I am, I kind of need to ask myself, is Nikolas, will he be able to get, the takedowns that he got in the first fight in round one again in this fight? Because that's kind of how he won that first fight, right? Like by getting that takedown in the first round, and then third round, which I will kind of get to, it was more of a stand up exchange. So because the third round it wasn't kind of Nicolau getting that takedown. The game plan for Manel Cap isn't as simple as just, oh, if I stuff these takedowns, I'm going to cruise to an easy victory. Um, because it is, again, important to note that the judges did give round three to Nicolau, um, and that was a stand up exchange. And so if I'm Manel, like I not only need to stuff takedowns, but I also need to make sure that I'm staying busy and engaging. Because if there's a knock on Manel, it's that he's he kind of just dances around too much, back and forth. He doesn't remain active, and so that's kind of like the knock on him as well. Um, but with all that said, I think Manel's just the superior fighter. Like if you put him in a street fight, like this guy's winning 100 times out of 100, in my opinion. Um, he's personally one of my favorite fighters to watch. Like this guy's, it looks like he's in the Matrix, just like juking these punches. So very visually pleasing fighter to watch. And I think he's going to get it done. He's going to come in with a better game plan. He knows he lost a very tight uh, uh, decision in the first fight, and so I think he has that understanding of what needs to get done. And I think he's going to get it done.
Awesome. And just to reference your point about it being the live odds were so heavily favored in terms of Kape, I just went on MMA Decisions right now. MMADecisions.com shows all the scorecards for the official judges there, but then also it shows the media scorecards. And not one single media member on, according to MMA Decisions at least, that they put in for the scorecards, not one of them scored it for Matheus Nicolau. So very interesting there. That could border on what we call a robbery at that point, because everyone looks like there's like maybe 20 some people here. They all scored at 29-28 cap. So that's an interesting one right there. Good data for sure that you brought out. What does your second leg look like, and why is it kind of in this gig a lot?
Yep. So second leg, Joshua Van. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really
Get the trade
it's
started.
yeah, it's really a system play at this point. I got to my fellow Asian American. But I do actually think he will win this fight. Um, First off, I just to kind of break down Felipe Bunes. Um, I think he's a very solid fighter, actually. It was interesting to see that, in his last fight against Yuma Horiuchi in LFA 149, he actually headlined that fight. So I think, that's something interesting to note. Anytime you're headlining a fight card, even though it's, a regional uh, uh, organization, the LFA, it's still pretty impressive, and so that means that he does have skills. And watching him fight, no, I definitely do think that he has skills. Um, so I think Bunes is most dangerous when he gets the fight down to the mat. I think that's kind of his bread and butter. But he's not some crazy takedown artist. Like he's not gonna be shooting blast doubles or getting these Islam type takedowns. He's more of an opportunistic grappler, I'd say. Meaning, he's gonna pick his spots to kind of engage, and it's more based off of timing. So if the opponent gets kind of sloppy with a striking technique, he's gonna get that perfect timing, latch onto you, and kind of bring you down that way. And so I think, if I'm Van, like I gotta be very precise, very cognizant uh, of that, grappling exchange. Um, but yeah, that and on the feet for Bunes, I think he's very creative with his strikes. He throws with a lot of pop, and so he has like very kind of interesting timing, in my opinion, when I watch him fight. So that's for Bunes, and then for Van, I think obviously he's going to be the one that's moving forward in this fight. What I really liked was in his last fight against Borjas. Borjas is kind of like a knockout artist type guy, and so I was really impressed with the way that Van was able to kind of maintain distance and stay relatively safe because in that fight the worry was that Van was going to get knocked out if he was going to lose, and so it was very reassuring that Van was able to stay safe, and so that's why I don't think he really needs to because I've seen him against a hard hitter like Borjas, I think he should fare well against, that creative striking that Bunes likes to throw out. And so I think he has that striking game covered. And so really it's kind of just staying smart and not having him getting into like a grappling exchange and finding himself in bottom position. Um, Again, Van has shown that he has excellent cardio, excellent durability, really great boxing. Bunes, I would like to note he does have a 6-inch reach advantage, but again, looking at Bunes' strike, it's not like he's not utilizing that 6-inch reach to the maximum strength, right? It's more so kind of just timing based pop punches and kicks. Like he's not really kind of outpointing you with volume, and so that's why I think Van should fare relatively well, like in the stand up. Um, what else? Uh, so yeah, I mean, how I see this fight going is, Van's bread and butter is boxing, and so I just see him kind of chipping away at Bunes from distance, every now and then engaging 1-2, back up, maintain distance, that type of fight. So give me Van as my second leg.
Yep, in Van we trust. What is your third leg that finishes off this Gigalock you got?
Yep. So third leg, man, I I actually don't know why. I don't know why people are staying away from this fight. I mean, I think it's really free money here.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I got Magomed Ankalaev against Johnny Walker. I mean, this is like one of those classic, Brazilian versus Russian type fights where the Brazilian is kind of flashy, trying to get that knockout, doing all this stuff, but Magomed is just, he's so consistent, so um, high IQ fighter. Like he knows what to do. In the first fight, like he was clearly going to win, right? And I even like that, the commentators made a note of this was that he was kind of lifting his knee up more to defend against the leg kicks, although he was still getting kicked by Walker. But it showed me that this guy, like, he learns from his past fights, and even I go back to the Yan fight. Even though he got his legs chopped, he still finds ways to win by getting those takedowns. And so, man, I really like Magomed Ankalaev. I think it's like free money here. Like this guy is just way too good. I think he's going to dominate. I can't see a flash knockout. Yeah, I just don't see a way Johnny Walker wins, and so that's probably my most confident third leg. But I mean, in all three of these legs, I'm pretty confident.
For sure. And just to give an odds update for the people, Magomed is now minus 550. I think that yesterday when we were doing the breakdown with Gerard, he was minus 500. So I think people are starting to come around and probably hammering this dude. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at like minus 600 by the end of the weekend where he closes at. So yeah, I love that parlay. And by the
Mhm.
way, I think it's like plus what, 127. Great odds there.
Mhm.
Aside from this Gigalog, is there any other potential plays that have come to mind for you? Anything else that you like to share for pure pickers?
Yeah, I mean, I think I also like, in terms of a prop, I like the Josh Van by decision.
Mm,
I mean, I think, he's fought two UFC fights, Borjas and Zalgas, both going to decision. Um, and this Bunes doesn't seem like like a flaky fighter. He seems pretty tough and durable as well. I don't think he's been knocked out. Um, so yeah, he's never been knocked out. He has been subbed, but I don't think he needs to worry about that in this fight. So I mean, I think Bunes is pretty durable. So Um, yeah, I kind of like the van by decision. So either that or even if you want the over 2.5, that seems fine to me. If you don't want to pick a side, um, but yeah, that would be a potential prop that I'm looking at.
Nice. And Van by decision right now, plus 220. I believe it opened up at plus 200, so you're getting a little bit more value since it opened up if you want to take a stab at that. The over 2.5 that you mentioned is actually plus 120, so both of those are nice, juicy odds. That
Hmm.
one opened up at minus 155. So if you feel that that's an avenue and path that you want to go down, you get some nice, juicy odds for those two props that were just released yesterday. Yeah, so is that pretty much it for the best bets?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's it for best bets. I think it's going to be a fun, exciting card. I'm super pumped that UFC is back,
Yeah.
and yeah, even more pumped about this upcoming year. I really feel like it's gonna be a big one. Like stick with us, guys. I promise you guys, we're gonna pop off this year.
Couldn't say it better myself. I'm James. We're gonna wrap up with the Pure Picks Best Bets edition. Signing off. Best of luck this weekend, and see you guys soon.